alive.
So, Ms. Sharona, when this season began, did you think that in any way this Tennessee Titans squad would be making history? Did you believe?
I did not think that they would be making history in the way that they made history. Let's just put it that way.
Well, this is the franchise that blew a 35-3 playoff lead and should have lost the playoff game to a Rob Johnson semi-shoeless comeback. So I guess we could say we've been used to this, but that would involve going to the playoffs, and this is just one game. I was at a sports bar, and for some reason, the guy running the TVs didn't understand the whole concept of you should show as many games as possible. So it took him half a quarter to get the Titans on a screen I could look at, but for some reason he changed it, so I had to turn around to look. So all I saw was it was 14-0, and then it was 14-3, and then it was 28-3, and I'm like, can the Titans blow this? Probably. And then look at that. So I didn't get to see a lot of it until the very end, so maybe you can, I'd say...
I saw every second of that painful game.
I mean, can you imagine? You weren't at the stadiums, but it's like, what was that like?
I did not go to the game.
I hadn't actually talked to my parents about that yet. But remember the early scene in The Walking Dead, the first episode, in which the guy's riding a horse down a deserted Atlanta highway. By the way, I live in Atlanta, and the highways are always bumper to bumper, even at 4 a.m. or post-zombie apocalypse. We host a NASCAR race and multiple SEC games a year, so yeah, we know what zombies look like. That's going to look nothing like the LP Field on Sunday. As the Titans play the Sparkle Kitties, I mean the Bradleys, I mean the Bortles, I mean the Jacksonville Jaguars. I forgot my terrible towel. I'm sorry, I can't use that joke tonight. You did hear about the whole...
I did.
Mascot, whatever.
I heard about the mascot, the Ebola thing, yes.
What was that? Oh.
Listen, that's not as bad. I mean, the Titans stomped on the towel.
Yes, the sacred towel.
Yes.
Can we stop making things about football sacred? Let's just not go there right now. Just, except for not paying taxes, we can make that sacred, I guess. But, yeah, other stuff, not. So what do you think it's going to take for fans to show up this weekend? Are the Titans going to need to implement a 4-for-1 beer special? Maybe show the red zone on the Jumbotron, or perhaps replay the Tennessee Fiesta Bowl win over Florida State in 1999, or just a montage of Peyton Manning forehead shots. Would that keep the crowd interested?
I don't know. The Titans weren't able to fill the stadium with their own fans the first game of the year, and they were coming off a big win at Kansas City, and were 1-0. If that doesn't get fans excited and put their butts in the seats, I don't know what will.
Yeah. Jaguars +6 seems like a mortgage payment lock bet this week, except that they're putrid too. Last year the Jags were historically bad, but showed some fight in the loss to the Broncos and then beat the Titans in Nashville.
Titans gave them their first win.
So
will they do it again this year?
Is it possible to demoralize a fan base that's already demoralized? How do you deflate an empty balloon? I guess we'll find out as soon as Charlie Whitehurst plans to get more significant snacks. Snacks? It's later than usual.
He probably plans to get those too.
I'm not totally sure, but I think Charlie Whitehurst in the first half, in his first 3 passes of the game on Sunday, that was half as many touchdowns he had in his career before this year. Okay, yeah, we're in a bit of a, I don't know where we are. We're in a weird place. We're in a purgatory, perhaps, as some people would call it, because Jake Locker's hurt again. He's got a thumb something injury.
He's hurt again, but he threw today, and he'll probably practice tomorrow.
I mean, do we care? Do we want Jake Locker out there? Do we want Zach Mettenberger? Because we don't want Charlie Whitehurst starting. It's like being stuck on the island in the TV show Lost. You're just going to feel cheated when it's over. So I feel like it's like, yeah, let's get Locker in there, or let's say Mettenberger time. But I think, yeah, probably Jake Locker. He's already said, like, openly in the media, like, yeah, sometimes I don't tell the coaches that I'm hurt, kind of like in that Bengals game. I wouldn't either. I'm an NFL player. I'm like, screw you guys, I'm playing.
Yeah, I mean it's tough for them. First of all, they want to be on the field. They're competitors and they want to be on the field. And then second, I mean, look, Alex Smith lost his starting job to Colin Kaepernick because he was playing very well. But he sat out a game with a concussion, and you see that, and that's just one example. And I think that there are a lot of things there are a lot of layers to that. That seems to be my word of the day, layers. But they want to be on the field for a lot of reasons.
Speaking of layers, I am drinking a Terrapin Liquid Bliss, which is a chocolate peanut butter porter. Dessert beer seems to be my thing.
That sounds good.
I even had wine earlier tonight. I'll only mix it for the Titans.
Well, since we're talking Titans, I had to go to the hard stuff. Zach's not a hard stuff kind of guy. I am drinking Crown Royal Black Label.
And here's what's extra painful about the game. The fact that when Jake Locker was in, he looked good. For the first time all year, he kind of had those instincts, when to run, when to throw. He was hitting guys. They used their 17 running back rotation and said, hey, screw it, let's give Wright the ball. As I mentioned on Twitter earlier tonight, so the top 3 runs by the Titans this year are Kendall Wright, Jake Locker, Charlie Whitehurst. I think number 7 on that list is Dexter McCluster, who has the most snaps at running back this year for the Titans. Let's stop doing that, please. I think we've seen the experiment. I think it's
Zach,
not working.
listen, I know that you're not a fan, and I understand that, but you have to understand that if they're going to hand him the ball, give him the ball, they need to use him in the appropriate manner, and they just have not been doing that.
Like running him directly into the backside of the tackle in front of him, yeah, that's not the way to go. I did like the fact that they started Hunter. They're like, hey. It was a weird mixed message. This is how football is. Like, oh, Hunter's still not figuring it out. And then they're like, we're going to start you.
I know, it was so weird. And then he got the least targets. Then he got the least targets ever of the whole season, but he had good numbers.
I mean, that pass that Whitehurst threw to him, it was like there was no defender. He was just hanging out, and it was just the easiest touchdown I think I've seen this year, except for possibly teams going against the Titans at the end. But, I was like, oh, okay, that was nice. By the way, I'd started Justin Hunter 3 weeks in a row, and I guarantee he had more points on that touchdown catch than he had in the 3 weeks combined.
Yeah, I had him on my bench.
Because that's the way it goes.
I did not trust. I had him on my bench. But I started Demaryius Thomas instead, so I was good.
Yeah, you did that. I'm in this Fanium league, and, like, the points are insanely just exploding, and I got 67 points from Demaryius Thomas, and he had like a 70-yard touchdown that I call back as well. So, yeah, when you have a talented guy like Justin Hunter, you at least hold on to him in fantasy unless they're really short benches, like I do in one league. Eric Decker, damn it, Decker. Anyway, so yeah, the Titans continue to confound their fans by not giving Sankey touches. It's funny that I made a trade-off for Sankey and got turned down, and I was pissed.
They're not really giving any of their running backs very many touches, so.
Well, it's odd because
it's like, hey, we got a bunch of running backs, but let's ignore it. We went out and got a bunch of running backs, but you know what? We're not going to use them.
It's a different thing for Titans fans to get used to because Chris Johnson for the past 5 years has been the guy, and he's gotten 20 touches a game. And now they're rotating guys, yet the only one who seems to have a little bit extra talent is Sankey. And I guess once he gets on Dancing with the Stars and figured out his footwork, then maybe we got something there. But I mean, even in the Chiefs game, it was only on like the last drive that the run game was really working. So I wasn't too thrilled. I mean, anything White, the Wiz was going to say after this game wasn't going to sound good, but it's like, yeah, the run wasn't working. It's like, well, you got to keep going. You got to keep giving it a shot.
It didn't work twice, and it didn't work twice because they were out of their own, coming out from the end zone, and the Browns were stacking the box because they knew that the Titans were going to try to run the ball, and I mean, it's stuff like that that just irritates me.
A lot to be irritated by. I mean, I just saw the end, when they had the safety, and then it seemed like they just threw through. They didn't run the ball at all in those last couple drives to get the clock out of the way. But I mean, that was just a weird situation. Like I don't think I've seen a guy catch a ball, the refs mark him for a first down, a guy challenges and they change the spot. I don't think I've seen that actually happen before. And then the Titans just, I'd say, a little brain freeze in that fourth down call. I mean, even if they got the first down, they still needed at least one more to clinch the game. And I think we signed Sean Green to like a $9 million contract to do that kind of 1 yard deal. So yeah, the Charlie Whitehurst up the gut,
I would think the Charlie Whitehurst up the gut call would be like next to last, easily on the list of things that you would want to do in that particular
Jake
situation.
Locker,
But,
okay.
Jake Locker, yeah. I mean, if it had been Jake Locker, I would have been completely on board. Although he probably would have gotten injured on the play. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
I mean, have him do like a play action and then like roll out and have a tight end get out there.
Something.
I guarantee, but yeah, something with thought. It was like somebody playing their first game of Madden or something. But at that point, we were in crazy land, and the Browns needed like 50 things to go their way, and they were on number 48 at that point. And yeah, it happened. And Man, the guy who picked up Ben Tate and dropped him and started Crowell, and that really went well for me. So,
I had already dropped Ben Tate, too. I regret nothing.
I regret nothing. Yeah, he has a history of getting injured, but, yeah, the Cleveland Browns are kind of where the Titans want to be. I mean, they run the ball really well. I'm not sure what exactly their defense is because they're
kind of the Titans of last
half.
year. I mean, they're kind of the Titans of last year, except that I think that Brian Hoyer is a lot more efficient in football. I'm talking about the Titans under Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Ryan Fitzpatrick. Yeah, except for the stab yourself in the side turnovers, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I was like, yeah, and the Titans had 2 turnovers, and they were both.
You just gotta laugh about it, right? I mean, at this point, it's just funny. You have to.
How the bleep did that happen? I just don't know. I'm so confused. And it was the Browns. I mean, this wasn't Peyton Manning or some, the Seahawks or someone who you're like, yeah, I can see that.
And it was a home game. And it's a home game. It's before. I mean, I understand that the crowd is not what it once was, but still.
Yeah. Although I'd say the Whiteouts seemed to grade poorly the week before. And they seem to do better this week, although didn't Nate Washington drop her long pass at the beginning of the second half, I think?
He did drop a pass, yes.
I guess he was unused to the ball being thrown to him, so that happened. And I don't know. Delaney, just do the arm thing. Come on. Don't hurt your. I know he's your guy.
Don't hurt my boot. No, I mean, I think on the list of things that went wrong in this game, that's on it maybe, but it's pretty low.
And I think Sensabaugh got hurt, so I don't even know who was playing cornerback at the end there. Was it the guy they signed off the street, and they signed somebody else off the street?
He was already playing.
So.
Yeah, I think his name is Brandon Harris. He was already playing. They brought Huff in. He was playing. Georgia Wilson was playing. They were. They were hurting there at the end, and now they've lost Bernard Pollard for the year.
So yeah, and then we have the hits that happened in this game. So Jake Locker runs it in the end zone, and I watched this play, and he was like halfway in the end zone, and he gets blasted by the guy who,
Tiny Titan.
thanks to a quirk in the Madden system, ended up on the Titans, and he was like 1'4" or something. And he just hit the crap out of Locker. I mean, that was a hit that, like, in the open field he would have been penalized for.
Mm-hmm.
And he was penalized for it, but he got the same penalty that it seems like a standard penalty that everybody gets.
Oh, the fine, yeah.
And he appealed it, but I think everybody appeals this. I'm just guessing. I don't know if anybody just says, screw it. 8,600, no biggie.
Well, the really funny, not ha-ha funny, but ironic funny thing about that is, nobody would have blinked an eye, I don't think, if that guy had been ejected. But no, they don't eject that guy. They eject Derek Morgan later on in the game.
What happened with Morgan? All I heard is Joe Thomas was engaged with Sean Phillips. Sean Phillips sighting, and Morgan came in to kind of separate him, and he got kicked out for that. And he's one of the few defensive players who actually has done something this year.
Yeah.
I mean, Casey, I'm not sure what happened to Casey. I'm not sure if I saw him much at all this week. But wow, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it really hurt the defense. It did.
I mean, yeah, it was tough because it seemed like in that third quarter they were like bending but not breaking. They gave a field goal and a couple drives that they stopped them on fourth down. And then once that punt got blocked, it just kind of messed things up.
Well, that was a 9-point differential. They got that safety. And
Alan Lowry, where are you, man? Did like nothing? What happened to him? The Titans got rid of him. I was like, somebody else is going to sign him, surely. And I don't know. I haven't heard anything, but
I don't know where he is either.
They've been boring. Yeah.
They've been pretty terrible.
Dexter McCluster, not your boo. I won't call him your boo, but he has the same 3.7 yards per carry and yards per punt return this year.
Not been good in punt return.
Not a playmaker like Chris Johnson.
But look, the units are awful, Zach. The units are just awful.
That's what she said.
I mean, come on. Yeah, and I'm not excusing Dexter McCluster by any means. But, I mean, what's he supposed to do when the ball is almost to him and he's, like, surrounded by dudes? It's not his fault.
That's
it is
terrible.
not his fault in the return.
And the Chiefs' special teams coach is really good, so, yeah, that makes a difference. But, yeah, I think every time I see a kickoff, I see Leon Washington, like, standing at the goal line, then he runs backward and the ball goes over his head. I don't even know if I've seen him return a kick this year. So, but hey, he plays running back, so that's good. Yeah, so what's going to happen on defense? We lost Pollard. He's out, so George Wilson is starting, but they seem to use him regularly anyway. So, Damian Stafford time, anybody?
Oh, yeah, definitely Damian Stafford's going to play. I think that they'll continue to utilize the three. They're probably going to play a lot of dime. They've been playing some dime anyway. So I think that we'll see that. They signed Brandon McGee to come in and help, and they're talking about, and they said that they did that because Marcus Huff can play safety, which he can, and so they've got a guy who can, and Huff, who can play cornerback. I kind of use these terms loosely because he's still adjusting, a fourth-round draft pick, a rookie, but you see, you've seen his speed on special teams, and you've seen him play, some in the secondary. So, hopefully it'll be okay.
Yeah, to have it's like a fourth-round rookie, and to say, he could play safety and cornerback. It's like, let this guy learn one position, and then But injuries do things to you. So Titans. So was that I heard you were ill over the weekend. Did you struggle because that was a rough Saturday Sunday for someone who's a Vols and Titans fan?
You will be shocked to hear this. I woke up with some sort of stomach virus Saturday morning, and I was not feeling well. I did not.
That's what they call in the South a hangover. Sorry.
It actually wasn't. It might have been more pleasant if it was, because I would have had the memories to tide me over. I didn't watch the game. I did not watch the game, although I've familiarized myself with with the situation.
True story. I got a text from Sharona like half an hour after the game was over, and I think she said, "What happened?" I'm like, "I can't." It's like a family member died. I'm not telling you this.
That's
Someone
not.
else has to tell you this. I can't do it.
I already felt like crap, and it's full. I knew. I mean, listen. I was not shocked at all. I was not shocked at all. Not. I mean, not to mention the fact that why are we making Little John a thing again? He never was good anyway, and I mean, why Tennessee wanted to attach itself to that? I mean, such attention whores. Pardon my French.
Is that like when Pac-Man talked to the team to inspire them?
I don't.
I didn't actually really watch the game till the end, but it was yeah. Basically, people were saying that yeah, clearly the power has switched to the SEC West. Luckily, Missouri's not in the SEC West. It's Mississippi, everybody. And yeah, it was. I mean, that kick that guy made that kick, and then like on Twitter it was just flooded with pictures of the clock at 0, shades of Joe Flacco on third down against Titans in that playoff game. I will never forgive you, Brad.
Oh yeah, right. God, that was I had forgotten about
It's like
that.
there is no way they're kicking a 54-yard field goal, and it's like 1 in 5 that a college kicker makes a 49-yard field goal. So, but it was Florida's defense is good, and then their quarterback who led them to the victory got.
Their defense is okay. Justin Worley just played terrible.
I mean, I've already said this as a Missouri fan. I'm like, I will not be surprised if they win the rest of their games. I'll be not surprised also if they lose the rest of their games, because that's how the SEC East is. It's kind of crazy this year. And it's bizarre that the second year in a row, Missouri-Georgia is like a key game in the SEC East. What's going on, you people? You have top 5 recruiting classes every year. What is going on? What happened? Sorry, I apologize. Too soon. Too soon. Well, since Brad wasn't available for the show, we can't do the Know Your Enemy segment, but I thought it'd be fun to recall the exciting history of all things Titans and Jaguars. The Jaguars were an NFL team in 1995, so long ago that the Titans were a team called the Houston Oilers, and they beat the Jaguars 10-3 in the opener. But the Jaguars were warm; they got won 4 in a row early. But we recall the most famous Titans wins over the Jaguars were the 3 games they beat them in 1999. I mean, this is, I think, the only time in NFL history that an NFL team lost its only 3 games of the year to another team. And the Titans beat them by 1 in Jacksonville early in the year, 27 at home. That was one of my favorite Titan games of the year because that was like Steve McNair was allowed to throw the ball, which is unusual. He had like 5 touchdowns. And then in the AFC title game, they beat him 33-14. And thanks to a strange ice storm in Atlanta, I only got to watch that game for the first time a few years ago on YouTube because we were snowed out. And one sad note to end, the Jaguars have one more home AFC title game than the Titans do in their history. Yay! But in the history of this exciting matchup, the Titans have won 5 in a row, twice in a row. In the last 6 games, we are 3-3, and it's been win-loss, win-loss, win-loss. So according to the trend, Titans won the last game in December last year, so the Jaguars are due. I mean, they're going to win? Hard to say.
Sorry, I was looking up something because Zach and I, in our notes, were talking about the Jacksonville. You know, when the Jags first became a thing back in 2002, and the Titans, the realignment took place, and the Titans moved to the AFC South and all of that. You know, the Jaguars were good in the beginning, kind of like the Titans, right? And it was really, I mean, the days of, you know, Tom Coughlin down there and Jack Del Rio. And I had to look this up because I didn't remember the exact quote, and I still don't have it. But Jeff Fisher used to be one of the most hated men in Jacksonville. I went to the Jacksonville game back in 2008, and the profanity was profuse
Wow.
toward Jeff Fisher, and it was because he called Alltel Stadium their home away from home, saying that the Titans basically owned Jacksonville and Alltel Stadium, and those fans did not forget that. I don't know if they still have that anonymity or that animosity toward Jeff Fisher, but it was very evident. I mean, there were people around me, and I was like, "Whoa, dude," you know. I mean, it was a thing.
I went to a game in Jacksonville, and I can't remember what year it was, but I remember this was like Tim Tebow was like a senior in college, and someone had a Tim Tebow authentic Jaguars jersey. Like, we're getting him. He's coming here. And they beat the crap out of the Titans. I just remember a friend of my dad who was there like ordered a glass of wine. It was like a bottle of wine, but it was a blowout, and it was horrible, and it was not fun. And yeah, plenty of seats were available for that one. But they have a swimming pool now, so I guess they have that going for them. And they have a mascot who makes fun of Ebola. So
I think Jackson DeVille is funny. I think he's one of the funniest mascots. I love him.
yeah, all T-Rack does is costumes and sight gags. Come on, T-Rack, expand your repertoire.
And run over opposing teams' quarterbacks.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. So the Titans are 21-17 overall against Jaguars. For some reason, I was looking at the Titans' playoff history. You already looked at the notes, but maybe. Who is the only NFL team the Titans have beaten multiple times in the playoffs?
This one shocked me.
Don't cheat. You're cheating.
It's the Chargers. I wasn't even gonna look.
The Titans have defeated the Chargers 3 times in the playoffs. The first time was in 1960. Here's how sad it is to be a fan of this franchise. When they entered the AFL in 1960, the Houston Oilers won the first 2 AFL championships, and they lost the third one to the Dallas Texans, or now the Chiefs. And in the first 2 championship games, they beat the Los Angeles Chargers and then the San Diego Chargers. And the Oilers also beat the Chargers in the 1979 playoffs before losing to the Steelers.
Which is really the only one that counts because that's the modern. That's part of the modern.
Yeah, I was alive.
I'm kidding. They all count.
And then that was the famous defense holding Vince Young up year when they. I think the Titans are winning 6-0 at the half against the Chargers, and then the second half. Philip Rivers carved him up, and they lost 17-6, and that was that. Titans made the playoffs 2 years in a row, only like 6-7 years ago, people. I just remember it was 2011. It was the holdout.
Oh, that was 2007 and 2000. I don't count. See, and I know they all count, right? But I look at that 2007 season because they backdoored the hell out of that. And you know it, Zach. You're not that big of a homer. You know they had no business being in the playoffs.
Wait, you calling me a homer? Wow, that's pretty good. Yeah, I recall that last week.
I said you're not a homer. That's what I said.
Basically, the Colts played Peyton Manning as long as they needed to get him that starter streak going. That really worked out, Peyton. And then the Titans won, and everybody was like, the Browns were the team everybody liked. The Browns. They like them more than the Titans, and yeah, the Titans got to win against the backup Colts squad to get in the playoffs. And that team was so defensive. I kept on my fantasy team. Vince Young was a keeper in my team, and he had 9 touchdowns that year and 17 interceptions, and they still made the playoffs. That was that defense that was getting ready for 2008. It's like, what happened to the great defense? Oh, they need a little bit of offense to be decent, to be good.
That was the genesis. That season was the whole genesis of the whole all he does is win bullshit that we had to put up with for years.
Carson, oh my goodness.
But Dad, it's time. It's 9 o'clock.
On a weeknight? How are you doing awake?
All right, let me wash my mouth out.
Great Titans memories is 2011. We plan a beach trip because the NFL's on strike for the opening week. So on that Sunday, I go to the sports bar. My wife's like, "Screw you! This is my last day on the beach. I'm going to the beach." And I watched the Titans lose to the Jaguars, who started Luke McCown at quarterback. And the only interesting play was when Hasselbeck threw like a 3-yard pass to Kenny Britt, and he ran 80 yards for a touchdown. That was the fully charged, uninjured Kenny Britt that we only got to see for like 2 weeks. And that was the end of that. Although I already scored a touchdown last week. Way to go, Kenny. Nice.
Oh, yeah? I missed that.
Austin Davis, upside. Yeah. Anyway, so NFL, Roger Goodell had some kind of press conference, and we don't care anymore. So the NFL, blah, 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 pink stuff. NFL gives no money to cancer research. Just a lot of mammograms. It's the NFL. So, yeah, pink stuff.
It's so funny. I've been talking for years about how hypocritical the whole October thing was. In particular, and I've had been critical of the Titans association with the Susan G. Komen, and I used to donate to them. I mean, I understand it, but I educated myself, and I know how bad some of these things are, and now it's all starting to come out, and everybody knows that it's all just a sham. And so, but hey, it's a lot of pink right now, right? I didn't wear pink tonight. I'll have to do that next week.
Pink drink?
No pink drink.
It's true. I like to consider myself a skeptic, and I think when you're giving money to a charity, you really got to look and see where is that money going, how much money actually goes to the cause, how much money goes to big salaries, and a lot of this money goes to the NFL. And yeah, I'm trying to decide. So it was like, so Sunday, I'm going to the game. Do I go for the bag over the head, assuming they let me bring a bag into the stadium? Unlikely. Do I wear pink? I don't know if I can wear Titans colors. It was pretty rough. The last 2 times I've worn a Jake Locker jersey, it's not been pretty. I wore one on opening day, and I wore one to the sports bar last Sunday. And, yeah, it wasn't fun. So I don't know. I'm sure I wear purple because that's like the domestic violence color. Although no one would get that in Nashville. They'd be like, why are you wearing LSU colors? So it might not work. Hard to say.
How you feeling, Zach? I saw you
Cough
put
drop.
a cough drop in. Are you better?
Well, I've transitioned. It's the fall, so now I'm all allergied up.
Ah, okay.
So I'm trying to not, I'm sure this is good for the speaking voice. How you doing? Yeah. So what was the deal with the Jeff? You mentioned the Jeff Fisher mustache thing, or what's going on with Jeff Fisher? They like him in St. Louis. I'm not sure why.
Do they? I don't know. I see a lot of people who don't think that he's going to last.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how many, how much they're going to give him. Like, how many, does he have some kind of guaranteed deal? Was this his 3rd year of the deal? So, I don't think has he had a winning record yet with them? He didn't have an 8-8 year. He had like a 7-8
He's in his 4th year.
God, that's just rough.
Because he went.
Retread coaches.
Wait, was he out? No, you're right. He took a year off. You're right.
For every Belichick, there are 15 Lovie Smiths and Whitehurst, or not Whitehurst, Wisenhunt. Wisenhunt and Whitehurst. It's hard to, they're all connected. Like, who was that Whitehurst coach for the Titans that one year? I just, boy. It's hard to talk about the team. We made it through 30 minutes talking about the Titans. That's just.
And nobody cried.
So how's it going in fantasy land for you? You're we're 5 weeks in. We're almost halfway through the regular fantasy season, which is crazy.
I messed up my teams this weekend. I just wasn't. I wasn't feeling good, and I tried to set my lineups, and I didn't do a very good job. And so, but I'm still doing. I am 5-0 in one league, in my MCM league. My guys with the MCM, and I lost one in my NFL female league, so I'm 4-1 in that, and I don't know if I won this week. I have one league that I just suck balls in, and so
Wow.
I hadn't won a game. I have not had a chance to check that, and I'm doing okay in my dynasty league. Even though I traded for Bobby Rainey, and I'm still mad at Zach about that.
Always coming around. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. Doug Martin is just horrible. I mean, oh my gosh, I don't know. I guess it's those fumbles, but there's some bad running back play in the league.
There really is. Look at LaShawn McCoy. Of course, he's got his hands full, but you know.
Yeah, they've had some injuries there for the offensive line there in Philadelphia. It's like, oh, the offense hasn't been efficient, but they're 4-1 and they're getting crazy, fluky defensive plays. So I played this one MFL 10, which is basically you put $10 in, 12 owners, it's best ball, and the top guy gets $100, and one of my team defenses was Philadelphia Eagles, so 2 weeks ago they scored like 20 points, or like most of my points. So I was like, oh, cool. But you're making faces, huh? Why are you making faces? This is boring. This is fantasy.
I'm just trying to keep things lively.
But that's the only league I'm doing real well in. I feel like everybody's like, oh, I'm not doing very well. I'm only 4-1, and I'm like, yeah, shut up. I mean, my local league, I'm 2-3. So I lost to a guy who started Ryan Fitzpatrick this week. God, what a mess. It's horrible. But I kind of like, because of this league, the waivers are based on your record. I kind of like doing poorly early because I can get the high waiver pick every week. So I got Brandon Oliver, who nobody knew who he was like 2 weeks ago, and now he's playing the Raiders. But you know what happens in fantasy sometimes? You get like, it seems like everything's lined up for you, and then it sucks, kind of like the Titans in week 2. I offered my dad.
Yeah, like everybody was playing Titans skill players in week 2.
Yeah.
They got burned, including me.
Yeah. I offered my dad Ahmad Bradshaw for Bishop Sankey. He turned that down. Thank you, Dad. And then I got Reggie Bush, and I'm like, well, Joique Bell's hurt. He's going to get a lot of touches. And then he gets hurt and scores a whopping 6 points. And, yeah. Boy, the Lions, they don't like their kickers, man. That was crazy. They showed the stat. The Lions kickers are 4 for 12 this year. 4 for 12 in the 70s. That is embarrassing.
How are you going to be a kicker and suck that bad?
I don't know. They drafted a guy, and I thought, oh, the Titans need to get a kicker, and you know, who needs a kicker when you suck? I mean, seriously, they could have Frank Wycheck kicking field goals, or Kaharski, your favorite guy. He's got a nice form. But yeah. So I had this theory about like fantasy football that I don't feel comfortable unless I hear really bad news about a player on my team. So I read a story because I picked up, who did I pick up when I dropped Ben Tate? I picked up Mark Ingram thinking, oh, when he gets out of his injury, he's going to be awesome. Mark Ingram's already screwed me like 3 times in his career. But I got this article that Nick Mencio posted about how Mark Ingram might be Wally pipped by Kiri Robinson. Although the story may seem like, you know, they're not going to sign Ingram after this year. Why the Saints traded a first-round pick for a running back when they're so good at picking up free agent running backs is beyond me. But anyway, when you're hoping for Mark Ingram to save your fantasy season at running back, you might be in trouble. You might be a redneck or something like that. Anyway, that's my story.
Is that your story? Okay.
Do you like looking for bad news on your players, or do you want to hear contrarian opinions?
Yeah, I do. I like to read, pay attention to people who disagree with me. I think that you can learn a lot that way, and so yeah.
Who disagrees with you and lives?
Not too many.
I see. Yeah. I have a lot of other news here. I don't know what's up. So
what's your prediction? What is your prediction? What is your prediction for the weekend?
Jacksonville 51, Titans 4. Two
No,
safeties? No?
no.
I don't know. Like, Bortles.
Well, what about this? Let
It's
me
not
ask you this before you give it your prediction. Should people be playing Titans skill players this weekend, given it's the Jags?
Oh my God. Oh boy. Well, it's like this. If you want to start Hunter, it's like in a game where you look for the upside and you're like an underdog, take that shot. I mean, Kendall Red has 3 touchdowns. He's getting a lot
I
of
know he's
targets.
scoring touchdowns this year. What's up with that?
He can catch the ball, not just 3 yards downfield. He can catch. It still kills me that they always throw him the ball like 2 yards downfield. But
Well,
I like to play with a handoff. There's some good blocking. That was good.
yeah. There
He's
was
got speed.
they called one play Sunday where he was behind. They threw it to him extremely short. I want to say it was like right at the line of scrimmage somewhere. It was terribly designed. It wasn't the right time to call. There was so much wrong with it. I don't even know where to begin. And I think that he got tackled for a loss.
Seems like in college they do a lot of those screens where the other receiver's blocking downfield, and sometimes it works and sometimes it get blown up. And it seems like in the NFL it gets blown up a lot. I don't know. They occasionally target right downfield, but usually he's 2 yards downfield. So between those two guys, can I get Delaney Walker some love? Come on, give me a touchdown, something.
Yeah, he didn't do much in fantasy last week. It kind of killed me.
I think the Jaguars have been one of the worst teams in general in defense, and then against tight end they've been bad. The Steelers, because I started Heath Miller in one league, and then they threw a pass to some
Sorry, my nose
third-string
is
tight end.
running.
I know it's emotional.
Apologies.
You gotta work through it, work through the pain.
Can't help it. I had to.
Rub some dirt in there or something. I don't know. Yeah, when in doubt, I don't know about the offense. I mean, we have somebody in our local league who still has Sean Green on the roster. I cannot believe that. They must not be looking at closely. Because, anyway, we got some app going on.
I'm going to take photos.
So it's funny that when the year started, I was like, well, I'm going to grow a beard. Why don't I grow a beard based on the Titans' result? And I thought, well, they won the first game, so it'd be a victory beard. And then after week 2, it was a mediocrity beard. And now we're back. We're with it. 4 in a row on the losses. So, yeah, way to go Titans. The beard survives.
The beard abides.
For the poor souls who do defense, special teams, fantasy, and I feel for you. You're in my prayers. Titans and the Jaguars are good pickups this week. Because I think it's whoever has played the Jaguars is the number 2 scoring fantasy defense for the year, just because lots of pick six, lots of turnovers, lots of sacks. But
I think they're going to be a lot better now that Blake Bortles is starting. Don't you think I think they already are better. I mean, Chad Henne was just,
Toby Gerhart, oh man.
I know, right? I was so wrong about him.
It was like, oh, you got to get him on your team in the 5th round. That's like free money, and now he's being cut. And it looks like it's kind of wild. And they spent the money on Bortles. They got him with the 3rd pick. They're like, screw this crap. We hope we don't have a pick this high for a while, which they might have one next year. They're like, okay, we'll take his running back in the 7th round. Just see. So Storm Johnson might be their guy. Because Shoeless, what's his name? Denard Robinson's also in the mix. There's a lot of mix.
Yeah, he's been doing okay at running back, not so okay at wide receiver.
Well, they have Hearns, who I started. Gosh, talk about fantasy disaster. Like, I started Alan Hearns, Victor Cruz, and Michael Crabtree, and they scored like 6 points combined last week. And I still won! In your face! German dude, I beat you. Ha ha. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm about to sit Michael Crabtree.
I don't know what what happened to him. I had such hope. Like, I feel like a year after 3 years in the league, some guy offered me 2 first-round picks for him, and man, I should have taken it. I don't care if it was the 12th pick. He just has not been good. Need to, get that.
He had
Get his
that
gun
one good game right when I was like, screw this guy, I'm moving on. He had that one good game, and so that I hate that. That always gives you hope, and then so you're like, I'm gonna hang on to this guy, and then he sucks more.
Well, I mean, Mike Evans had a great game, and he hurt his groin. What's up with the deal with the groin, dude? Oh my gosh. I feel like this is paparazzi. No paparazzi, no, please.
Sorry.
I'm not a famous person. I got my beard. I'm trying to think of my beard.
I can't help it.
Okay, so this is a decision
Promise, that's the
that
last
will
one.
only go poorly. Should I start Tony Romo or Austin Davis this weekend?
Who does Romo play again?
At Seattle.
Ooh. And who do the Rams play?
San Francisco, I think
Oh,
they're
yeah.
at home, but it doesn't really matter because St. Louis doesn't care about football anymore. They're in
Sad.
baseball mode. They're in the playoffs, I think. I guess.
Yes, they are. The Cardinals are in.
Let's try. Somebody put like the TV ratings and
Play Friday night.
some television show on like a cable network got better ratings than baseball did. Because like I'm like, hey, the Royals haven't been in the playoffs in 30 years. I should watch them. Like, I don't know what channel they're on. They're on like True TV or something. I mean, the NFL, I guess they might be on ESPN, but they're usually on local channels for the playoffs. So yeah, best ball, whatever I say. Yeah, so last week I had a thought. I'm like, well, maybe I should start Austin Davis over Tony Romo, and Austin Davis scored 10 more points. Although it's hard to depend on, they were down 34-7, and you got a bunch of points in the fourth quarter. So
Yeah,
it's hard to
garbage points still. I mean, you can still spend them the same way.
Points de garbage, as they call them. Nobody calls them. I'm the first one. Thank you.
You are the first one because
Thank you
you're a
very much.
trendsetter.
Mm-hmm.
You're a trendsetter, Zach.
So Brandon Oliver and Shane Vereen, those are my running backs in one league. Yeehaw! Okay. Although I feel like the leagues where I got running backs early or spent a lot of money on running backs, that hasn't really worked out for me.
It's been a weird year for running backs. A lot of injuries. LaShawn McCoy sucks right now. Hasn't been a good producer for a couple of weeks. So I mean,
well, it seems like
you never know.
Every week they're like 4 guys you can kind of plug in at least for a week. I mean, who knows what's going to go on in Denver? I mean, before this year it was like every running back with Peyton Manning is great, and then Monty Ball was horrible. And the Broncos were like, we're going to try to run, and then last week they're like, screw it, we have Peyton Manning. We're just going to throw the ball every down.
I just dumped Monty Ball.
Yeah, he was cut in our league, too. It's like people don't really...
Who did I pick? I'm trying to think who I picked.
He's not that good. He got cut for Ben Tate, who I had for a moment. Yeah. I cut Ben Tate and Matt Asiata this year. That's not good.
Hang on, I'll tell you who I picked up.
Running backs. I don't, last year I think I cut Noshawn Moreno early in the year. That didn't work.
Because I'm pretty sure it's in this one league, because that's really the only one that I looked at today. I will tell you real quick who it was. It was a running back, I know.
It is that's one thing that's tough because I joined 5 leagues is like doing the Tuesday night waiver kind of look in every league. That's a time-consuming thing, and every league is different. And I'm annoyed that in leagues that have like one quarterback where all these quarterbacks are available, because in none of my leagues quarterbacks are never available. I picked up Charlie Whitehurst in my Dynasty League a few weeks ago. That's how desperate I was.
Oh, God.
Because I have Cam Newton, and I thought Johnny Manziel would be starting, but no. So I have Jake Locker and Charlie Whitehurst. Yeah.
Yay. Still have Jake Locker in 2 leagues. And,
Condolence.
I should have remembered this. I picked up Anton Smith.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to think about him because he's been a special teams guy for like 5 years, and now all of a
I know.
sudden he's this crazy playmaker. It's like, are the Falcons picking the exact times to use him, or should they be using him more? Because he seems like he's averaging 85 yards a touch.
They're saying that they're going to, that they should be, and that they're going to. We will see. That will be my next big decision is whether to start him. Let's see who. I'll tell you who my running backs are in that league. If you'll bear with me.
Terrible. And terrible and more terrible.
No,
Really
I think.
terrible.
I mean, I was just like, yeah, I'm ready to move on from Monty Ball.
Yeah, America's ready to move on.
I picked up Trent Richardson right before the Titans played them and played him, which turned out for me. So I still have him. I have DeMarcus Murray and Frank Gore.
Old man Gore?
Old man Gore.
I swear he's
They're still feeding in the rock, so I'm good. This is a pretty good team, I have to say.
I did see today that I guess Alex Smith had a touchdown pass that was turned into a handoff. So if you started Alex Smith last week, first of all, I'm so sorry. Second of all, he just lost, 6 points. So
That
oops.
sucks.
Yeah, I lost the game based on stat correction a few weeks ago, and it does happen occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you weren't part of the DraftKings Millionaire Maker tournament last week?
I was not. I don't usually pay attention to those things. Maybe I should. I keep getting DMs about money-making opportunity, fantasy football.
You do? I don't. Guess you're just cooler than me, huh?
I do.
So you're gonna have
Definitely do. My DMs get interesting at times. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, I see. The life of Sharona. You just never know.
The life of Sharona. Yes.
So if Matthew Berry can get a pilot done, I think the life of Sharona could be the next big thing.
Big something.
Who would star as you in the pilot? We think.
Who would I want to play me?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to think on that. I will definitely have to think on that. I think Jennifer Garner.
There you go. She's doing like commercials now. Okay, come on, give her. I need the next opportunity.
I like her.
She's still with Ben Affleck. I totally forgot.
Yes, they're married.
What? You're supposed to be married in Hollywood. What's going on?
I definitely like her. So.
True story. Yeah.
I like Katie Holmes again now that she's not married to the weirdo.
Yeah, it seemed like she was on the, because I do all the shopping in the household, I get to look at the magazines when I'm checking out, and she used to be in there all the time, which just kind of disappeared. Now it's all the 16 and pregnant for some reason. They're very popular in the magazines. I don't get that. That's what happens.
I don't either.
You don't?
I don't get it.
Well, it's reality TV, and we're watching the most popular reality TV of all. Will it be hard to watch the Colts and the Texans because we hate them both and want them to die?
Who do you think is going to win that game?
Probably the Colts, because all they had to do is suck one year and get Andrew Luck, and
right.
all the Texans had to do is suck one year, and they got Clowney and Ryan Fitzpatrick. They're going to need like one
They didn't
drive
get Ryan Fitzpatrick
to make
in the draft, though.
And he's going to throw a pick.
And Clowney's not playing.
I know, he's hurt. It's too bad.
So.
They got J.J. Watt, man, and it's cool in a way because it seemed like all the commercials are going to the quarterbacks. And now we have Sherman in a bunch of commercials and J.J. Watt in a bunch of commercials. And we just see, Peyton and Russell Wilson for some reason. What did you do? Win a Super Bowl or something? Boring.
Yeah, right.
Oh, so
all he does is win.
Do you believe that your man Tom Brady, not really your man, but he's on a fantasy team of yours, is back now because of one good game?
I came very close to moving on from Mr. Tom Brady. Glad I held on to him, and I actually I have Jake Locker in 2 leagues, and one of them is the league that I have Tom Brady in. And I played.
You poor dear.
No, wait. I played Jake Locker in one, but I don't think I played Jake Locker over Tom Brady. I can't remember. Maybe I did. But Jake had the 2 touchdowns.
He scored some points. He ran the ball some. Would you ever start Jake Locker again? This week?
Probably not going to start him this week.
That's a tough one.
I mean, I'll keep an eye on his status, and I don't know who the Patriots play this week, so I don't know.
All right, so we'll do. They're playing the Bills. Last second field goal, and let's say Ryan Suckup does it, and the Titans win 27-24. Yeah, that's what you say. Because if they lose, I don't know. Is there any difference between this week and next week if they lose? I mean, they're not firing the coaching staff. They can't really make any dramatic personnel moves. Not in the middle of the season.
Nope.
Other than changing the quarterback, which, trust me, Mettenberger. I already compared him to, remember that game when Rusty Smith had to start against the Texans?
We haven't talked about Mike Roos. Are we going to pour one out for Mike Roos?
Yeah, you're right. The Titans took Roos in the second round out of Eastern Washington, and people didn't even know. They didn't have the crazy red field yet. He was from, Estonia or something, and he had only played a few years. And Khalif Barnes was the hot name, and shockingly, he's still in the NFL. And that was the year they took Roos in the first or second round, and then they took Stewart in the fourth or fifth, and they took some guy who was their swing tackle for a few years as well. That was really good. It hurts to sit, but the Titans had a good draft.
It was in 2004.
And some kind of knee injury, and I don't see him coming back to the Titans. Maybe he'll go to another team next year. But yes, Taylor Lewan.
Let's pour one out for Mike Roos.
Already poured that apparently. Yeah, when I met Thomas Gower before the Bears blowout a couple years ago, he was wearing a Roos jersey, so I don't know what he's going to do now. All but the offensive line. I didn't.
Well, maybe he'll get a Taylor Lewan jersey.
Maybe you won't get a Taylor Lewan jersey. I don't know why. He's so rootable. He's going to be their left tackle. It's Wisnon's going to be our coach, and Taylor Lewan's going to be their left tackle. And
the last jersey I bought, which may carry me through, was a Randy Moss Titans jersey.
And you had to get that quick, man. That was in stores for long, was it?
Yep.
It's going to be hard to explain in a decade. What? Randy Moss was the Titans?
Well, believe it or not, he was. They didn't use him, but believe it or not, he was.
I saw the one touchdown he scored that was called back for penalty, which was hilarious.
Wasn't that a Rusty Smith pass?
Rusty Smith, trusty Rusty.
Rusty!
See, Rusty Smith, Titans took him in the 6th round, and I'm pretty sure that he wasn't rated as a draftable prospect by anybody with a pulse. But he managed to stay on the team for 4 years as a third-string quarterback, which is crazy. And they would never, ever think about moving him up to quarterback 2. So, sure, I think Zach Mettenberger might be better than him, but I don't know if he's going to do squat when he starts. I mean, apparently Ken Wisdom doesn't like quarterbacks who run. He wants them to stay in the pocket. Well, that's what Mettenberger will do. I think my mom runs a faster 40 than Mettenberger, so yeah, he's a statue, but he's got a nice arm. He threw some touchdowns to Hunter in the preseason, so maybe he's the guy. But wouldn't it be nice to just see Lecker start all the rest of the games and not get hurt again? Wouldn't that be a beautiful, pretty thing?
I would like to see him get an opportunity to. Who knows? Who knows with this team? I made no predictions.
Believe in Sankey and give him 20 touches. And
what's the conventional wisdom? Go against that. That's what they'll do.
Yeah. It's like the old boring coach theorem, where they just put in the veterans because they trust in them, even though they don't have a lot of upside.
Let's just run the veer.
on the fear. Well, anything that involves a quarterback not running on a designed play, that's probably be okay. But yeah, I don't know. So you have a prediction for the game? Are you going to be at the game?
I predict that there's a 50-50 chance that I will be at the game.
50 being the amount of cents you could probably spend to get a ticket, right? To get in the stadium. I'd be intrigued to see.
I'm definitely going to try to make this.
Scalpers are not going to do well.
They should pay us to go to the games.
I feel bad for my parents who are locked into 3 season tickets, including 2 preseason games every year, and yeah, can't wait for the Steelers game in the Monday night. But so yeah, football. Hey, I'm gonna be in Nashville this weekend. I'll be there Friday, and
all right.
I'll be getting a ride out of town.
Party.
Exactly. So 11 a.m. on Saturday, Missouri, Georgia, for the SEC East already.
All right.
Bring it. I'm excited to see what monstrosity of a jersey combination.
We're going to drink Bloody Marys and watch the game.
Hey, pick a spot somewhere possibly downtown. I might be dropping my wife off at the book festival and going to have my own little personal beer festival.
Ah, okay.
I hear there's an Oktoberfest going on, but I just like to make my own little beer festival wherever I am.
It's a party wherever you go, Zach.
I'd like to think so, but not often, to be honest. Seeing as this past my old guy bad time. So we're at Sharona. So what you got going on? You want to talk about all your projects and sites and the podcast you did before that was?
I've got an interesting little project. It's not big that I'm working on. I think it's going to be kind of a little fun thing to do. So hopefully, if it all pans out, maybe by next week I'll be able to talk about that. But you can always catch me in the mornings on 7:30 Yahoo Sports on Game Over with Zach and Sharona, talking all those sports that Zach doesn't care about. Hockey's back.
Seriously. I almost wanted to. There's a guy who I was going to do an interview with, and he does like fantasy hockey because he's in Canada, and I'm like, I almost wanted to do a draft, and I forgot. Oh, the year's already started, so I probably missed out. Do they do team defense in hockey fantasy? No.
I've never played hockey fantasy.
I did basketball one year, and it was kind of boring because we didn't know who anybody was.
I did a college pick'em. I want to do another college pick'em. That was a fun thing.
That was enjoyable. So yeah, Zach_Law on the Twitters and fantasysports.org. Just been doing kind of a review of what happened last month in the fantasy industry, and then kind of covering the last week, a little waiver action, a little looking forward. Brandon Oliver, and of course the Broncos running backs. It's too bad that they won't tell us what they're going to do because you can't guess. I think Noshawn Moreno was inactive 8 weeks in a row, like 2 or 3 years ago, and he became their guy. So you just don't know with old guy John Fox. Talk about a crotchety old coach. You just don't know what they're
doing. Yeah, right.
But anyway, follow me on Twitter. Sports_Sharona on Twitter. That's what you should follow. They're going to be confetti come from the ceiling when you reach that 100,000th tweet, which I think is coming up pretty soon, right?
Are you talking about me?
Yeah.
Oh, probably.
I was like, wow, you're like, I sent a bunch of tweets, but you got me crushed.
Probably. I tweet a lot.
But that's good. Everybody knows what's going on all the time.
Yeah. So
that's right. Better or worse, we'll be in Nashville to see it. So thanks everybody for showing up for the slightly longer, slightly later show. But hey, it's just more drinks for us. So
that's right.
Thanks everybody. Go Titans, and of course, go football.
Go sports.
Go this.
Go beer.